Test, test. Good evening and welcome to Newsweek's World's Greatest Auto Disruptors Awards ceremony. Please welcome to the stage Dev Pragad, CEO of Newsweek.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm absolutely delighted to have you all here. 90 years ago, in 1933, Newsweek magazine published its very first issue. Life then was very different. Journalists used typewriters. International news was shared by telegraph. Radio was considered high-tech. And Newsweek helped Americans make sense of a rapidly changing world. To stay a leader in the industry, Newsweek is constantly in a state of fine-tuning, introducing new products and finding fresh pathways forward. This month, we launched the new Newsweek homepage, where right now you will see tonight's Auto Disruptors Awards featured above the digital fold. Automakers aren't unlike Newsweek. They are in a constant state of evolution, meeting new challenges head-on, whether they come from regulators, a pandemic, technology, production, or demand. Tonight is about auto industry leaders, individuals, teams, and brands that go further, finding fresh ways forward. Tonight, we celebrate the world's greatest auto disruptors of 2023. This year's crop of auto disruptors are doing more than creating waves. They're moving full steam ahead on innovation, finding solutions to generation-old problems using cutting-edge technology and pushing the limits of propulsion. And they're doing all that while focusing on reducing, reusing, and recycling, while using alternative energy sources in an aim to be more sustainable. Tonight's award winners are seeing how decades of planning is pushing the brand's stories forward in ways that make them standouts, without disrupting their appeal to the loyal customers they already have. In the last year, hybrid and electric vehicles have gone mainstream, gathering more market share than ever, with new models designed to appeal to a larger audience. Tonight's winners saw this coming a mile away. The newest vehicles aren't just focused on fuel economy or electrification. They also take sustainability into account. Interiors feature less leather and more recycled materials and natural products, while cars are being made in greener factories. Designers are also working their way through the challenges of optimizing aerodynamics for improved fuel economy. Disruptive designers are creating vehicles that break the mold, combining innovative design with engineering to achieve optimal battery range. As cars change, buyers are seeing them as living environments, not just modes of transportation, making their purchase a lifestyle choice as much as it's about finding the right model at the right price. Cars and how people are buying them have gone digital. Consumers are buying their new models, electrified or not, in new ways. Digital interactions are taking the place of traditional in-person shopping and buying opportunities. The same technology that connects your vehicle to your phone is helping fleet managers connect to their cars, trucks, and vans. Business owners are using that technology to reduce their inefficiencies and maximize uptime. Visionaries, executives, designers, and sustainability, innovation, and technology leaders. Tonight, we celebrate you.
Disruptor executives are making decisions that work to transform the auto industry with big, bold actions. Newsweek's 2023 World's Greatest Auto Disruptors Executive Disruptor of the Year is Toyota Motor Corporation's chairman, Akio Toyoda. On his behalf is Ted Ogawa, President and Chief Executive Officer of Toyota Motor North America.
Good afternoon, konnichiwa. Thank you, Newsweek, for this very special and unexpected honor. To be honest, when I first heard I was getting the Disruptor Award, I was a little confused. This award is for disruption. But really, I'm kind of doing the opposite by staying the course and not following the herd. I asked if it could be changed to the Voice of Reason Award. But Newsweek said no. But seriously, I'm very happy to be recognized for suggesting that it might be better to achieve carbon neutrality through a diverse portfolio of electrified powertrains instead of just one. I'm all for BEVs, but as I've said many times before, I believe it is short-sighted and even irresponsible to think it's the only option. At Toyota, we serve 170 markets around the world, and for many of them, such as India, Africa, and even Japan, the infrastructure to support an entire population driving BEVs does not currently exist. And we need to realize that it will take years and even decades to build it. Carbon neutrality should be the goal. It has been our goal for quite some time, in fact. In the past 25 years, Toyota has sold 22.5 million electrified vehicles, which is equal to 7.5 million BEVs in terms of emission reduction. And as global corporate citizens, we are partnering with other industries to find new ways to achieve carbon neutrality in addition to our low and zero emission vehicles. Now, I've enjoyed my fair share of criticism when it comes to my point of view of electrification. But in Japan, we have a saying, "Derukuyi wa utareru," which means the nail that sticks out is struck. I realize I'm that nail, but I'm willing to take the hit on behalf of customers everywhere who need a realistic advocate for their needs. So it's with them in mind that I humbly accept the Newsweek Disruptor Award. Thank you very much.
Being an industry automotive visionary means tying the present wants and needs of customers to predictive behavior, technology, manufacturing, fuels, and design trends decades in the future. The moves to make that future a success are happening today. Newsweek's 2023 World's Greatest Auto Disruptors Visionary Disruptor of the Year Award goes to Oliver Zipse, Chairman of the Board of Management at BMW AG. Accepting the award on Mr. Zipse's behalf is Tom Polinsky, Head of BMW Group Product Communications for BMW of North America. Since Mr. Zipse could not be here in person tonight, he sent this video message.
Dear esteemed guests, fellow disruptors, first of all, I would like to express my gratitude that I'm able to accept the Visionary of the Year award. It is truly an honor for me to be recognized in such a prestigious way by such a well-known and respected publication as Newsweek. The future always comes too fast and in the wrong order. This wisdom of the author and futurist Alvin Toffler has proven true many times over. But by following our mindset and focusing on our strength, we at the BMW Group have always been able to stay one step ahead, even in difficult times, to think far beyond and pursue also unconventional ideas is not only the way startups operate, that is also what sets us at the BMW Group apart. This is how completely new ideas are born, not only today and tomorrow, but also throughout the 107-year history of our company. And today we focus on electric, circular, and digital solutions. This is what the future of mobility will be all about. By taking nothing for granted, questioning everything, deciding on the basis of facts and standing up for what we believe in, we are setting new trends in many places and making great strides in the industry. We have drawn a picture of the future of mobility with two breathtaking vision vehicles, and both are packed with ideas that go far beyond the car as we know it today. The Vision Circular shows how bold we are thinking when it comes to a closed-loop circular economy by reusing materials. And at the CES in Las Vegas this year, we showcased our vision of the digital future of mobility with D, a stunning car with personality. All just nice ideas that will never become reality? No. The whole BMW team worldwide proves every day that we are not only excellent visionaries, but also outstanding implementers. In 2025, we will show that we are reimagining the car from the wheels up. And that is when our Neue Klasse will hit the road. In this completely new model generation, we will combine the most important trends of the future into a stunning new whole. Ladies and gentlemen, the award that I received from Newsweek is also a recognition of the work of the entire BMW Group team over the years. It also confirms that we are on the right track to contribute to a more sustainable and innovative future. This is the spirit in which we all at the BMW Group will continue to work tirelessly to shape the future of mobility for generations to come. Thank you.
In the digital age, car designers aren't just tasked with making autos that are fresh. They're challenged by continually evolving technology and finding new ways to inspire buyers. Newsweek's 2023 World's Greatest Auto Disruptors Designer Disruptor of the Year is Luke Donker-Volke, Hyundai Motor Company's Chief Executive Officer.
I will be short. I became a car designer because I hated to talk in public. That didn't go very well. So that's it. No. It's a bit surprising to get an award for something you love to do. I tend to say that I design for free. I only get paid for the meetings. And unfortunately, I get paid quite a lot, so. I think that again, when you do what you like to do, you don't work a single day in your life. And I didn't invent that quote, but it is true to most of the designers, I believe. I had the great chance of working for a lot of great companies, and I have a chance to work for a visionary, Mr. Oisun Chung, or a visionary that received the Newsweek award last year for Disruptor of the Year. And I will be really short, I promise now. I think that the first thing you have to do is design your team, because without your team, you are nothing. Design your processes, design your DNA, and then all the rest is easy. Again, I think good design is also the proof that you have a great management. So I think this is a thank you for all of you. Thank you for Newsweek for receiving this award, and thank you for all management. Thank you very much. Thank you.
No matter if a car runs on diesel, gasoline, hydrogen, or electrons, its powertrain components are heavy. In a race to maximize range and deliver more power, automakers are trying to do more with less weight and achieving impressive power and range simultaneously. Newsweek's 2023 Greatest Auto Disruptors Powertrain Disruptor of the Year award goes to Lucid Motors. Accepting the award is Dr. Imad Dalala, head of Powertrain at Lucid Motors.
Thank you very much. It's a huge honor to be here and to receive this very special award from Newsweek on behalf of the entire team at Lucid Motors. I really believe that our advancements of powertrain are so meaningful and important to the world and to the advent of electrical vehicles, so we really appreciate this recognition. Our promise is to continue the mission to disrupt powertrain further for a better future. The 520 miles Lucid Air is just the beginning. Thank you very much.
Creating an electric vehicle that not only ushers in the company's electrified vehicle future, but does so in a way that continues to uphold the signature drivability that brand devotees have come to know and love without sacrificing power, speed, comfort, safety, and style. That's why Newsweek's 2023 World's Greatest Disruptors Research and Development Disruptor of the Year award goes to BMW. Accepting the award is Maximo Aviles, head of product analysis at BMW North America.
Sorry, I'm a little shorter and not as smooth, so I need to read some notes. They're short. Good evening, everyone. First of all, I'd like to thank the editors of Newsweek for this great award. While I have the honor of standing here, I do so as a representative of a great number of people responsible for research and development at BMW, and I accept dynamics that remain our brand's hallmark today. Our new Neue Klasse generation of vehicles will begin arriving in the US in 2025, electric, sustainable, and digital. The future of BMW will be built upon these three pillars, and we can't wait for you to drive them. Thanks again to the editors, and thank you for having me. Good night.
Disrupting the tried and true marketing cycle of print and television advertisements, social media campaigns, and connecting with influencers and sponsorships is a challenge. Pushing the limits of what the winner in this category did, Newsweek's 2023 World's Greatest Auto Disruptors Marketing Disruptor of the Year award goes to Genesis. Accepting on behalf of Genesis is Claudia Marquez, Chief Operating Officer of Genesis North America.
I'm so happy. And probably you are saying, who cares? I'm so happy because I started probably 1 month before we actually opened Genesis House. And even for me, entering just into Genesis House, trying to understand what everything was about, it clicked me so fast. It's this amazing place where we express to the world, of course, to people in Manhattan, in New York, to people across the world, to everyone, what Genesis is about. We talk about Sonim, which is always talking about receiving everyone on our guests. We have this amazing restaurant when you can taste, if you have not been, this amazing royal Korean food. We talk about, of course, our model lineup, and hey, look, he makes our lives, same as Sangyup, so easy, because of course you get to see everything, which is amazing. You can have a very nice cup of tea, you can go to the pavilion, you can go to the library. So in the end, it's exactly the core of our value, which is we are, of course, distinctly Korean, we are progressive, and we are audacious. So I'm saying thank you for this. Newsweek is amazing. Thank you.
The word technology is on the tip of everyone's tongues today, but few are using innovation to connect to the world, vehicles, and infrastructure in a single product that works to make the lives of millions of drivers and business owners easier, helping them save money and making the air we breathe cleaner in the process. Newsweek's 2023 World's Greatest Auto Disruptors Technology Disruptor of the Year award goes to Ford Pro. Accepting on behalf of Ford Pro is Wanda Young, Chief Marketing Officer of Ford Pro.
So I know that so many of you may be used to hearing from Ford Motor Company. Jim Farley won last year. And as you just heard that, you said, who actually is Ford Pro? And I want to just thank the Newsweek editors for recognizing us for that reason, that alone. So when you look at some of these amazing, sexy pictures of those work trucks and vans, they drive into your neighborhood every day. They're the ones coming to help fix your plumbing, your landscaping, and they're helping get work done across America and Europe. And so they're actually helping build the infrastructure and the economy across our countries. So Ford Pro is actually about productivity for our commercial customers. It's a new division of Ford Motor Company, and it's a growing segment. And what Newsweek has recognized, which I'm so thankful for, is that it is about transformation utilizing software. Our commercial customers, they're ranging from these small guys who are landscapers all the way from medium-sized businesses to government and enterprise customers. And they have been underserved classically for so many years. So now we're addressing their needs. We're actually bringing software and services to them in order to help meet their needs. And it's a combination of all of these things together that create this ecosystem that's really going to serve what they need into the future. So that's what the Disruption Award is about for technology. And it's such a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much.
Sustainability is about more than selling electrified vehicles and paying for carbon credits. The biggest disruptors in sustainability space are addressing environmental concerns from the top of their organizations to the bottom. Newsweek's 2023 World's Greatest Auto Disruptors Sustainability Disruptor of the Year award goes to Lamborghini. Accepting on behalf of Lamborghini is Stefan Winkelmeen.
So thank you, Newsweek, for this disruptive prize. I'm standing here on behalf of the entire Lamborghini team, for sure. And we take this topic very seriously since more than a decade. And in fact, we are CO2 neutral since 2015 in our plant, in our headquarters in Sant'Agata Bolognese. We are starting with hybridizing all of our lineup this year. Actually, tonight we're having the premiere of the Americas of our new Lamborghini Revuelto, which is the first plug-in hybrid car. And we will then continue to electrify the cars with the first BEV who is coming up then in 2028. So this is very important for us. But let me say one word to Luc Donkerbolke. He is disruptive not only starting from the year 2023, but he was already disruptive almost 2 decades ago because we know each other since a long time. And he was the designer of the Lamborghini Murcielago, which is 2 generations before this one. So he's part of our history. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Creating positive, disruptive change in the auto industry once is an accomplishment worth celebrating. Having a substantial legacy of disruption that has, for more than a decade, completely remade a brand is a remarkable accomplishment worth celebrating. Newsweek's 2023 World's Greatest Auto Disruptors Legacy Disruption Award goes to Torsten Müller-Oetfusch, CEO of Rolls-Royce. Accepting on Torsten's behalf is Jerry Spahn, Head of Communications for Rolls-Royce of North America. Since Torsten could not be here in person tonight, he sent this video message.
Thank you so much. I'm sorry I can't be with you in person this evening. Creating a legacy is, I think, something we all strive for in life. And to be recognized for my role in securing Rolls-Royce's legacy into the 21st century is a wonderful honor. Thank you very much for it. I'm speaking to you here from the home of Rolls-Royce at Goodwood in the south of England. It's where our clients can come to be inspired and to discuss their commission with the designers and craftspeople that make up our wonderful bespoke collective. For me, Rolls-Royce has always been a disruptive brand. Indeed, our co-founders were themselves great disruptors. Charles Rolls was a daring pioneer of both motoring and aviation. And 160 years after his birth, Sir Henry Royce still inspires us to be disruptive with his most famous statement, "Take the best that exists and make it better." Much has changed since I arrived here in early 2010. With Wraith, Ghost, and Cullinan, we have moved Rolls-Royce from being a mainly chauffeur-driven automobile at times to a motor car which our clients love to drive themselves. We foresaw that the increasing influences of today's great disruptors, technology, celebrity, enable people to achieve great success early in life and through less conventional means. And for them, we created Black Badge. At the time, some felt this alternative, disruptive take on our wonderful brand was risky. But it has proved to be one of our greatest success stories. So too has our transformation of Rolls-Royce from a high-end automotive manufacturer to an international house of luxury driven by a focus on exquisite personalization and our relentless pursuit of perfection. Because bespoke is Rolls-Royce. But the most radical change, the biggest disruption in the entire 118-year history of the marque is the one we are managing right now. As I speak, we are preparing to launch Rolls-Royce Spectre, the world's first ultra-luxury electric super coupe. Spectre is also the first step on our way to becoming an exclusively electric brand by the end of 2030. And this goes far beyond disruption. It's a fundamental change in how we do things now and in the future. And to have led the rejuvenation of this great brand, to have the pleasure of regularly meeting with our influential, eclectic, and exciting clients, and to manage our wonderful, world-class team here at Rolls-Royce is truly a great privilege. So thank you once again for this award, and obviously also my congratulations to the other winners.
This concludes our awards ceremony. We will now take a brief break while we transform the stage for our featured panel discussion. Attention Newsweek Disruptors winners. Attention Newsweek Disruptors winners. If you could please join us to the left of the stage for a photo opportunity, we would appreciate it. If all the winners could please join us to the left of the stage for a photo opportunity. Thank you. tiny little slide. I don't know how they get through there. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stage our Digesting Disruptors, What to Expect as Automakers Try to Rebound panel featuring Paul Waddy, Manager of Industry Analysis at Auto Pacific. Stephanie Brindley, Associate Director of Research and Analysis at S&P Global Mobility. Tyson Jominy, Vice President of Automotive Consulting at J.D. Power. Eileen Falkenberg-Hull, Senior Editor of Autos at Newsweek and co-host of the Fast Women podcast. And Nicole Wakelin, co-host of Newsweek's Fast Women podcast.
All right, tough crowd.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us at Newsweek's World's Greatest Auto Disruptors panel discussion. Tonight, we tackle four main themes in the automotive supply chain: electrification, materials, sourcing, and the rebounding market and design trends. Tyson, we'll start with you. Why is 2023 the biggest year yet for electric vehicles?
Well, I think one of the biggest deals with electric vehicles in 2023 is that we're filling in all the white space, right? We have all these segments in the industry. I mean, we have 26 segments at J.D. Power, and prior to this year, we only had EVs in about 12 of them. So now we're finally filling in those spaces. We're getting EV pickups. We're getting EV convertibles. We're getting EV SUVs. I mean, we're finally filling in that space, and SUV and EVs, buyers are responding to all those options now from all the different automakers.
And Stephanie, we've seen some big names start to put out EVs. Are we going to see more of that? Companies like Ford with the Mustang Mach-E and the GMC Hummer EV? What's coming?
Oh, we have more coming. Certainly we have more coming this year. Now, we look at this year, we've got about 74 available. By 2025, we're going to double that. We'll have about 150 EV vehicles around. That certainly helps all of this come into play. And again, like Tyson said, we are filling in segments. We are filling in price points. Even though they're still a little bit more expensive than a comparable ICE, we're filling in price points. IRA is helping that. But yeah, we're going to get more. And as we get the ability to produce a little bit more consistently, and inventory pulls up, that's going to help things a little bit too. But we're at about 7% market share for ICE or for EVs right now, and this availability and production is going to be the thing that kind of keeps it moving.
Paul, Tyson here said that we are filling in the gaps, and Stephanie said we're going to double the number of electric vehicles on the market in the coming years. Where are they going to come from?
Yeah, I mean, to this point, there's been, mostly affluent early adopters have been buying EVs. Everything is very high priced. We're going to start to see that price come down. I don't think this year there's going to be too many, but I think one of the biggest will be Equinox EV. Now we're talking something $30,000. One of the main reasons that people reject EVs is, price of entry. We just did a recent poll of 41% of rejectors said that they would reconsider buying an EV if there was a $35,000 or less vehicle that they were interested in.
And that Chevy EV certainly fills that bill.
For sure.
Absolutely. All right. In the most basic terms, the Inflation Reduction Act modifies the rules by which electric vehicles qualify for tax credits. That's very, very basic part of it. So Stephanie, do automakers have the resources in place today to deal with the effects coming with the IRA?
Mostly no. But some of the elements are being phased in over time, and that's certainly going to help. The IRA is really about manufacturing. It's about pushing automakers to localize, to get sourcing, at least in this half of the hemisphere, at least in North America. And as interesting as the incentives are in that bill, actually the incentives for automakers and suppliers, the grants that are going to help support those manufacturing investments are probably going to have, in some ways, a much bigger impact on electric vehicle development even than the incentives for consumers. The incentives for consumers, as they're designed right now, are intensely confusing. Somehow in there, we've got to figure out a way at least to make it more easy for a consumer to understand if they qualify or they don't. It's really too confusing right now. But that money that's going to support the manufacturing, that's the stuff that can kind of defray the cost for an automaker or a supplier just enough to make the next step that they might have been thinking about for 28 or 29 or 30 a little bit more viable now. And that's going to be, I think, a really important part of moving things forward.
Paul, batteries and lithium supply are a hot topic, and enthusiasts even are really quick to pick on range for how far they can drive in their EVs. What's a good range? Is it 500 miles? Is it 300 miles? What do they need?
Yeah, I mean, right now we've got quite the range from, 100 miles with the Mazda MX-30 to 520 with the Lucid. I honestly think right in the middle is about where consumers start to feel comfortable. The biggest thing is, for all the disruptors in the room, consumers, they really want the least disruptive change from ICE to EV. So I think if you can get closer to that 300-mile range, which is very common for an ICE vehicle, I think you're going to have more hand raisers coming in at that point.
300 does feel like a magic number that we're hearing a lot, right around that 300. Tyson, what do you think?
I like 250.
You like 250?
Can you hear 250? I like 250. No, I don't want to go that low. No, I like 250.
Okay.
I mean, if you own a ICE vehicle that has a 400-mile range, on average, every morning you wake up with 200 miles of range in your ICE vehicle, right? On average.
But my grandfather told me I'm not supposed to go below half a tank.
Right, exactly. Somewhere between 400 and 0. Right. If you have 250 miles of range in an EV, you start every day, provided you have off-street parking and a charger at home, every day you start with more range than an ICE vehicle. That's what I love about EVs.
On this range question, because this is an interesting thing for me too. When we talk about filling out segments, when we talk about 2030, 2035, and where we're going down, and the 100-mile MX-30, and the 350, and the 520, actually what will really be interesting is when we get to a point where people are comfortable enough with EVs to buy the EV package, the size of battery that works for their personal range. That's going to be interesting, and it's going to happen. Maybe not next year, but it's going to happen, and that I think is going to, the range question right now, the 300 mile, the 250, whatever that magic number is, that's about getting people to put it on their consideration list and to feel comfortable trying it the first time. Once people are in it and figure it out, and over time as we fill out lower price segments, and battery range is going to change quite a bit in terms of what people will accept, and they'll buy what they need instead of overbuying to some degree.
So Tyson, you're in this very issue right here, and you're talking about asymmetry. Tell us what that means.
Yeah, I mean, my word of the year is asymmetry. It can mean a lot of things, right? I mean, we all know what asymmetry is, but with this year, at the most basic level, the rebound from the supply chain crisis is not going to be the same across all automakers. Some are going to be much further along than others, like we've seen with Hyundai and Kia being much further along. Others are going to struggle with it. I mean, Toyota, Honda seem to be struggling right now with the rebound and the asymmetry. But beyond that, I mean, it's like right now the industry has had a complete reset, and I don't know if you guys would agree. I mean, it's almost like everyone has now the opportunity to really define what the brand wants to be going forward. And it's going to be different for all the brands. I mean, their solution, their answer to the question may be different. But right now, it's like the playing field's been reset and everyone has the opportunity to define who they are and make it all new going forward. And I think we've seen with brands like Hyundai and Kia, I mean, with one vehicle like Telluride, like Palisade, they can turn it around like that.
There is that asymmetry and how things are developing for sure. And another thing that's going to contribute to this is as we get lower price vehicles coming in, as we get people thinking about different things, we're down 7 million units over 3 years, maybe 6.5. That to me means 6.5 million people chose not to buy anything. They're going to start coming back. Not all this year, but as inventory, and we've gone through this before. When you look at recession, when you look at different things that have happened to the industry, and you start making decisions on years when people weren't buying, they come back. And, oh, wait a minute, maybe they do still want a compact sedan. There just wasn't one to buy. And so they waited. So you're going to see some asymmetry in that as well. And what do consumers want? Is the supply chain, even as we're building it, is what's inventory on the ground actually aligned for every automaker with what consumers want? Automakers, some of them may be suffering with a little bit older product range versus another one that has a newer one. And again, we saw GM, I think, was hit the hardest by the chip shortage and COVID and everything, and kind of picked back up, then Toyota, and it's still here. It's still, somebody called it whack-a-mole not too long ago. It's still a problem that's not really entirely gone away.
All right, Stephanie, consumers have a lot of opinions about screens. They love them. They might be my father and hate them and not know why they exist. We have plenty of options, 7 inches all the way up to 38 and plus. So what is the sweet spot there? What automakers are doing it best?
I've talked about this a couple of times. What I like best, I'm just going to start with there, isn't about the number. It's not necessarily about the size of the screen. It's how well does it integrate with the interior? Does it make me feel like it's part of the space? Do I understand why it's there? Is it this big thing that's stuck over there that I reach out and I'm like, I don't know, why there's a big square in the middle? Okay, I get it. It's a square because somebody said I want to use my iPad in the middle of a car, and a bunch of other people said, oh, I must do the same thing. I like to see things integrated. The BMW screen is amazing. Cadillac does a really good job of integrating theirs as well. I think the Volvo EX90 actually took a kind of a tiny step back. They went to a bigger screen this time, but their previous generation, XC90 had a much more integrated screen. And it's not that every screen has to be the same, but it does have to fit with your DNA. And we've spent some time earlier today talking about branding and marketing and where's your brand going to connect with your consumer. Your interior is where you live. And if they're a little bit confused by a screen that doesn't truly make sense and doesn't fit, or this weird square that your steering wheel cuts off part of and you're not sure where it's at, those are not necessarily helpful screens that make you feel better as a driver or better as a passenger.
So to what you're saying, Paul, the interiors of cars aren't just about leathers and wood trims and looking pretty and feeling comfortable. They're like whole ecosystems now where that infotainment has to work into the overall experience. What does that mean for the consumer?
Yeah, I mean, we've heard a lot of automakers talking sustainability in manufacturing and all other areas, but now we're starting to hear that conversation on the interior and materials. I think a great example is the EX90. Other than the screen, I mean, you look at it and it's a great example of how you can use sustainability well. And I think Volvo as a brand has really embraced that, and their whole messaging is behind sustainability. And I think Polestar also is in that same realm. And I think that's becoming a more important part of automakers going forward, is their brand messaging.
Who knew a beautiful wool interior would be part of an electric vehicle?
I love that
true.
wool.
That's
It's fantastic.
Volvo's went great with that.
Right.
Can I add lib here? Can we add lib?
Sure, I
Maybe
don't
off-
see why not.
off script?
No, you
What do you
can't,
guys think
Tyson.
about GM's decision to drop CarPlay that was announced this week? What? How you feel about that?
Put you on the
I'm a
spot.
panelist, but
Well,
that's
then.
I mean,
Steph definitely has opinion. She's known for it.
I'll go for it. So this is all wrapped up into services. This is all wrapped up into revenue. This is all wrapped up into those numbers that automakers say in 2030 and 2035. They went $20 billion, excuse me, in revenue from services and from add-on. This is the beginning of that step. Whether or not it actually works very well will depend on if they can bring consumers along. As I look at it today, it's a little tough for me to imagine an environment where you can no longer connect your cell phone, except for Bluetooth. You can still do Bluetooth. But in about 6 or 7 years, they're going to want you to maybe pay for Spotify, which you already have on your phone, which they took away from you. I think there's some complications there, but at the other hand, embedding the navigation gives you better navigation information because you can actually get to the vehicle ECU. That's something that they're never going to let the smartphone be able to crack that code to. Your assistance for voice control of the vehicle can be much more thorough if it's actually connected to the vehicle. And one of the things they're working on this, they're going to come up with features, all the automakers on this space are coming up with features and services to be recurring that we haven't thought of yet. There's going to be things that you're going to be like, yeah, that's absolutely what I want. But when you put it in the context of Spotify, I'm like, maybe I really don't want to pay you to have Spotify on my car.
But is that a GM problem or is that a Spotify problem?
That's a consumer problem as automakers shift to recurring revenue and try to figure out how to get you to keep paying. I love Ford. When they talk about their always-on relationship, gee, I know what that means. That means you're always spending money with them, ultimately. And they're not alone in that. GM is working on that. VW is working on that. Mercedes is working on that. Everyone. Volkswagen is deep in this. It's about recurring revenue. It's about saying, wait a second, you've got all this technology in a car. Why am I only going to get the value out of it? As an automaker, why am I only going to get the value out of it once? This magic sauce is going to be really finding the blend that a consumer is ready to pay for. We don't know what that is yet.
All right, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Congratulations to all our disruptors, and we'll see you next year.
All right. Thank you.
On behalf of everyone at Newsweek, thank you for attending today's festivities. We invite you to continue to eat, drink, and enjoy the sunset.